We got first-year head coach Tennessee State Reggie Barlow. Welcome to the association, coach. Just start with some general thoughts on you and your thoughts on this team and this upcoming 2025 season.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here at Tennessee State University. So humble and blessed by our president here, President Tucker, Dr. Allen, our AD here for giving me this opportunity. I understand the great history and tradition here at Tennessee State, and obviously to be a part of the OVC in the Big South. Extremely proud of that and excited about the opportunity to go and see how we match up against all the wonderful coaches and teams in this conference. But obviously, we got the job when we got it, had to hit the ground running in terms of trying to recruit guys back from the transfer portal, trying to recruit other guys to fill roster spots. And I commend our coaches, Coach Mashak, who headed up our recruiting efforts, and the other coaches, Coach Thornton, Coach Greg Williams, those guys for jumping on Coach Russ Arnfeld, jumping on and being able to find some players to add to our roster. I thought they did a good job of that, and looking forward to getting to fall camp and going from there.
Thanks, Coach. If you're going to have a question for Coach, either let me know down in the chat or raise your hand. So we'll start first with Mike Organ. Go ahead with whatever you got, Mike.
Coach, you mentioned kind of the big haul that you had to do with the timing, and I just have two questions to start with. How many starters were you able to bring back? And two, have you had any communication with Eddie George? It was not it was an amicable departure for him, so there's no animosity there. And I just wondered if you've talked with him at all in this transition.
Yeah, Eddie and I were drafted the same year, 1996. So there has been interaction over the years. Obviously, when he first started coaching, and we've gone to a few things that the NFL have put on. So we've had conversations in the past. And then, of course, when I was blessed to get this job, he reached out and was, he just told me like if I needed anything, any questions about anything, that I could reach out to him. So certainly appreciative of Eddie and the job that he's done here. And in terms of starters, we tell everybody that everybody's got a clean slate. It's a clean sheet of paper, and it'll have their name on it, and they will create the adjectives that will come with their name in terms of starter, in terms of being an impact player, being in terms of a player that we can count on. So it's a clean slate, and we'll select and let the starters be the starters once we go in camp and let those guys identify themselves as such.
I guess I should ask, how many returning starters, the guys that started last year, how many were you able to convince to come back?
Yeah, we had a good number of guys come back. Obviously, with the transfer portal, there were guys that had other opportunities to go and play. But I think obviously offensively, we lost some receivers that we wanted to keep here, but we have some younger guys that we feel real good about, and the total number of those guys is 5 on offense and 6 on defense. So here, the thing about it, when guys leave, whether they're seniors or whether they or guys that transfer out, the opportunity for the young guys is what I'm so excited about. And then, of course, we were able to bring in a host of transfer guys, about 25 guys. So one of the major things I love about being able to be a coach, football coach, is branding and bringing everybody together and letting the deal take care of itself in terms of who are the guys that's going to step up and make plays and become your starters. So we're looking forward to that process.
We'll go to Brandon King next. Go ahead, Brandon.
All right. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good morning. Good. Thanks for asking.
All right. Brandon King with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab and SneakerShopTalk.com. First of all, I wanted to welcome you to Nashville and to Tennessee State University. And wanted to kind of ask, because over the course of your coaching career, everywhere you've been, winning has followed. Multiple divisions, multiple schools, and even to the professional ranks. So you've obviously shown the ability to be a program builder and a team builder. What are some of the truisms that you've been able to apply throughout those experiences, and how are you looking to bring some of those into your new situation at TSU?
Yeah, Brandon, I appreciate the question and the compliments there. It's all about populating yourself with good people and good coaches. And, that's what we've been able to do. We've been able to select and bring on a good group of coaches that care, that knows football, that are great communicators, that care about the student athletes. Everywhere we've been able to have those type coaches. And that's certainly what we've done here at Tennessee State. And then, of course, you got to be able to get players. You got to be able to get players, recruit players to be a part of your program. And then once you get them, love up on them, let them know you care. And then obviously, it starts with mindset, goes to skill set, and then it goes to scheme in that order. So if the mindset's not right, then no matter how good they are, you're not going to have them ready to play. So it's mindset, skill set, and then we have great coaches with the scheme to be able to let these guys do what they do.
Thanks for that. And do I have time for a quick follow-up?
Cool. We got plenty of time. Go ahead, Brandon.
Okay. And you kind of touched on this a little bit. I know when you go from one program to another, obviously there's an evaluation process in terms of what's on the roster and then who may leave in terms of the portal, especially now in this environment of the Wild Wild West, there's a transfer portal. Can you talk a little bit about how that process, that you may have and has changed or even sped up? Because, once you take that job, obviously you're on the clock in terms of not only roster preservation, but construction going forth as well.
Yeah, so obviously, things are a little different here on the college landscape, but coaching on the FCS level, we were always getting transfers. When we were at Alabama State, guys that can transfer, that they couldn't go lateral unless they set out, or they couldn't go up unless they set out. So, but kids were always able to go down. So this whole transfer portal thing for us, at Alabama State, we were able to get guys. We got Isaiah Crowell. We were able to get many good players that was transferred. So obviously it's a little bit more advantageous right now with all the schools being able to get transfers. But we've kind of already have seen that and done that. And then coaching in the pros, our roster after every season, we had guys that were either going to the NFL, we had guys that we either want to move on from, or we had guys that just had enough of pro football and wanted to retire or whatever. So every year we was changing out, 20 to 30 guys on our roster. So this here is real similar to that. So we're used to it. And, we just, if guys leave, we just try to find other guys that we can add in and coach them up and make sure that they fit our systems and all that stuff, and, go from there.
Thanks for the insight, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Mike has a follow-up. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Coach, I also wanted to ask about your quarterback situation. Yeah, the program lost a good one last year, a guy that had erased all of Joe Gilliam Jr.'s records, and it really the offense had been built around him. Where do you stand with the quarterback? Do you have a battle going on, or were you able to bring somebody in that you expect to start?
Yeah, it'll be a competition, and like I said, that's one of the things that gives me so much excitement about being a head coach and being here at Tennessee State is to see these guys compete. That's what it's about. It's about competing. We were able to bring in Jonathan Palmer, who's a transfer, obviously the nephew of Carson Palmer. We got Caleb McCrary that transferred in from Troy, and we got a few other guys that are on the roster. And I'm looking forward to these guys owning the offense, and looking forward to these guys being great communicators, RCE, recognize, communicate, and execute the plays that they're given. So we're looking forward to that in the competition battles. And these young men have been doing a good job so far, and being leaders and doing the things that the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator have asked of them.
And what kind of offense will that be, Coach? Will it be similar to the run first offense that the previous regime had, or are you doing a little bit more pro style, or what kind of offense are you putting in?
Yeah, so I mean, our offense coach Shannon Harris, being our offense coordinator, obviously coach of the year with the DC Defenders, who's worked with myself and other people on staff for extended period of time. It'll be our offense. Obviously, it'll fit the student athletes that we have, but we're gonna run the ball. I'm not gonna say we want to run the ball. We're going to run the ball and establish the run, and then obviously be able to play with some pace and spread the ball out, right? Stretch them wide, stretch them deep, and be able to make plays from there.
Now, you mentioned Coach Harris and you mentioned a lot of your assistants. Has Coach Kais decided to retire, or where do you stand with Coach Kais?
Man, Coach Kais is my guy. He will always be my guy. If as long as I have a job, he has a job. Right now, Kais is spending time with the wife and the dogs. He got one dog, his dogs that he care about so much. So he's spending time there. We're connected. We talk, on a regular basis, and he just, after going through a season over at in the UFL, a tough season, highs and lows. He did an amazing job of dialing it up. So we'll have access to Coach Kais and his mind and all the things that he do.
Thank you.
Coach Mark Simpson with the OVC Big South staff. Welcome to the conference.
Thank you, Mark.
You touched on what your offense may look like, but what do you envision for the defense? What kind of identity and style will the Tigers play on D?
Wider than the widest, deeper than the deepest, and if it wiggle in front of you, we're going to hit it. I don't know if you know of Greg Williams and who he is as a defensive coordinator, longtime NFL defensive coordinator, coached with us over in the UFL, and we're happy and blessed to have him back in Nashville. He was the defensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans for an extended period of time. We had our battles when I was a Jaguar player, and obviously Greg is a smart guy, intelligent guy, high IQ, has been calling and dialing it up for a long period of time. And it's an aggressive style of football.
And more general, just getting to know you. Just what are some of your coaching philosophy styles, and second to that, kind of the expectations for year one for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a coach. I like to have a lot of fun. Obviously, I was a wide receiver, offensive style coach, on that side of the ball, but obviously love spending time with our defense and our special teams. But our philosophy is real simple, man. We want to live by 5 core characteristics, and we call it live the dash, DASHH. Let's be disciplined. Let's have positive and conquering attitude. Let's sacrifice for the sake of our team, for our community, for our university. Let's have our habits aligned with our expectations. We can't say we want to be champions if our habits are not aligned. And then the last H in the dash is we want to have good hearts. We want to be good teammates. We want to be good students. We want to be good people on our campus. And we believe those 5 core characteristics, that's what we've lived by since I've been a head coach. And since I was a player, kind of live by those things, and they pay great dividends for us.
Great. Thank you, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you, Mark.
Probably should have asked this coach at the very beginning, but like when the coach, this job came open, what was it? What made you say this is the right spot for me?
Kyle, this is Tennessee State University. I've always admired this university from afar, and always thought, what a great place. And the history and tradition that I thought I knew, when I got here and really saw it and heard it, and hearing people talk about it, it's an amazing place. It's in a great city. You have the bells and whistles, the things that you need here. And even for the stuff that I felt like I know, Coach Gruden did something on Twitter yesterday talking about Tennessee State. And I mean, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Oprah Winfrey. I mean, Tennessee State, man. Too Tall Jones, big Joe Gillum, right? I mean, it's a very rich in tradition place, and we want to embrace that. We want to have all of those former players and guys that was here to be a part of what we got going on, and it's a wonderful place.
Even though I'm the one that tallies the votes and coordinates the preseason poll, we know in this day and age it's hard to vote in them. You all were picked eighth. Just talk about that, and like I'm sure the unknowns go into that. But what did you think of the preseason poll?
It's cute. It's cute. Yeah, it's cute, but it is what it is. I mean, obviously, the people who voted on that stuff, I'm sure they had a lot of thoughts that they had to think about. But we're not strangers to this. We were at Alabama State. We were picked in a similar situation, ended up playing for the championship. At Virginia State, we were in a similar situation, got the job kind of late, picked low, ended up going 9-2. And then when we got the job up at the UFL for the DC Defenders, same type situation, picked at the bottom, played for the championship, Warner North. So we're no stranger to that. We respect everybody that vote and pick, but we understand that the game is won on the rectangle in between the white lines. And we're looking forward to getting a chance to get on the rectangle and see how we measure up.
It's funny, earlier, Coach Took from SEMO said he's won 4 championships, and the only time he was picked first was the worst team he ever had. So that's what preseason
Yeah.
polls are. But
Gotta look right.
anybody else? Questions for Coach Barlow? We got another minute or two if anybody has any more questions. All right, then, Coach. Appreciate your time. Looking forward to watching you and your team this season.
Man, excited about it. Thank you guys for having me.